Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tips. Julian here for another waiver wire episode. In this episode, we talk about which players you should be adding to your team in order to make it as competitive as possible, or which players you should be streaming this week in order to win your matchup this week. Every single week is super important, so it's important that you keep up with the trends and pick up all the best players so you can win each and every week. Before we jump into it, guys, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We just recently hit 9,000 subscribers, which is so awesome, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for subscribing. And let's make it 10,000 subscribers. That's just such an amazing milestone. So thank you to everybody who watches this channel regularly. And thank you to those of you who just recently subscribed. I really do appreciate all of you. Now let's jump into the schedule for this week. And as you can see here, guys, on Monday, there are 5 games, Tuesday 10, Wednesday 3, Thursday 12, Friday 4, Saturday 13, and Sunday 8 games. So the off days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Sunday's not an off day because half the teams play, but it's pretty close to an off day. So there's a good chance you can fit some players at least in your lineup. You can go ahead and check that. Now, what teams have a really good schedule? Well, the Calgary Flames, jersey right behind me, and the Buffalo Sabres do have the best schedules this week. Why? Well, they play all 3 off dates, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Calgary also plays the Sunday, which is awesome, and Buffalo plays Saturday instead. Now, there are some teams with only 2 off days, which is still really good. Minnesota, Montreal, New Jersey, and Winnipeg. And you can see exactly what days those teams play right here. Minnesota, New Jersey, and Winnipeg also play on Sunday, so it's almost as if they play on 3 off days. And then the other teams, other than the ones I've already listed, that play 4 games are Colorado, Dallas, Edmonton, LA, Nashville, San Jose, Seattle, and Vancouver. What teams have a bad schedule? Well, the Chicago Blackhawks don't have a good schedule this week, unfortunately. They are the only team in the NHL that only plays 2 games, whereas every single other team plays at least 3, if not 4 games this week. So if you have guys like Teravainen or Bertuzzi, guys who don't really necessarily need to be owned other than on weeks where Chicago doesn't have a good schedule, you could consider dropping them this week in exchange for someone who's going to get you a little bit more value added to your week. Someone who I'm going to be featuring in this video. Please, though, don't drop Bedard or Nazer or even Renzel. I like those guys quite a bit year long. Before I get into the forwards, guys, I just wanted to note that I am recording this on Tuesday. So if anything's happened between Tuesday and when this actually goes live on Friday, my apologies. I am going away for the weekend, so I had to record this a little bit in advance. But the information here should still be very accurate. Jumping into some forwards that you can consider adding now, and Mason McTavish is the number 1 forward over here, and he's 58% owned on the Anaheim Ducks. He's playing right now on a line with Beckett Seneca as well as Cutter Gauthier, and that line right now is looking really good. The 3 of them are also on a power play together, and yeah, Anaheim's kind of running 2 power play units, and they're just really looking good right now. They're scoring points left and right. Hopefully they can keep up this momentum. I was really high on Mason McTavish going into the year, and I'm glad that he started the year so strong. And then Frank Nazer of the Chicago Blackhawks. Yes, I'm listing him here once again. He's just looked so electric to start the year. Now, Frank Nazer should be gaining right-wing eligibility at some point. He has been playing a lot on the wing. There's a good chance that he gains it soon. Alexis Lafreniere. With Vincent Trocheck out for a while, Lafreniere is now on the top power play in New York. That gains him quite a bit of value. Cutter Gauthier, I kind of just mentioned, playing with McTavish on the power play as well as in 5-on-5, and he's looking pretty good. He's firing the puck, and he should be scoring lots of goals this year. Jonathan Huberdeau. Now, I don't have any confirmation or anything yet, but he is skating, so it seems pretty likely that he'll return before next week. You can definitely stash him on an IR spot right now, and the Flames do have a really good off-night schedule, so if you can stash him now, you can already lock and load him for next week. Zach Bolduc of the Montreal Canadiens is just going crazy right now. Top power play, second or third line deployment, whatever you want to call that. He's just looking really good. And until he slows down, guys, he's an awesome ad. Marco Rossi's a good ad for the off nights that Minnesota has. And he's playing top line with Kaprizov, which is great. Anton Lundell is pretty much the number one center in Florida, other than maybe Sam Bennett. He's not getting power play one time, but he's getting loads of ice time. If you have face-off wins in your league, he's doing pretty well at that, and he should be scoring plenty of points all year because there's no Barkov, so he's number 1 or 2 center all year. Shane Pinto is someone who I wasn't actually going to put back on my list this week, but with the injury to Brady Tkachuk, it looks like Shane Pinto is probably going to be stuck on that top power play. When Drake Batherson returns to the lineup, I thought Pinto was going to get knocked off the power play. But again, now with Brady Tkachuk gone, Pinto should stay there and should still have a decent amount of value. Matt Coronato is a must-add player this week. Matt Coronato, someone who I was super high on this offseason, and all signs were pointing to him having a breakout. I own him in every single league that I am in. And this week, with Calgary having the off nights, it's a no-brainer to add Coronato, top line and top power play deployment. You can't go wrong with that. Now, Marco Kasper is someone who I wasn't going to have here this week either, but with the injury to Lucas Raymond, Marco Kasper is probably going to be on the top power play in Detroit. If Raymond's injury is serious, Marco Kasper is set for an elevated role. Leo Carlsson is also somebody that I like in Anaheim. He's playing on the top line in Anaheim, and he's playing really well to start the year. He's shooting a lot more than he did last year, and he's putting up points. If he can continue that, we can have a really good year here for Leo Carlsson. Dmitry Voronkov is not on the top power play in Columbus, but he is on the top line with Sean Monahan, and that is where you want to be in Columbus. And so far, he's doing pretty dang good. Beckett Seneca of the Anaheim Ducks is playing on the second power play and second line with McTavish and Gauthier, and that line is super hot right now. Hopefully, they can maintain that momentum all year long, but right now, all three of them are great adds. Vladimir Tarasenko of the Minnesota Wild has kind of found a little bit of youth here in 2025. He's playing on the top power play with Kaprizov, with Boldy. Yeah, Vladimir Tarasenko has actually been scoring points to start the year, and if he continues to play on that power play and score points, he should be owned in more than 6% of leagues. Jason Zucker is a good add in a deeper league. Buffalo has off nights this week, and Jason Zucker is on the top power play over there. He's kind of jumping between lines. He was on the first, the second, the third line. By the time you actually pick him up, who knows where he's going to be, but he's been a consistent mainstay on that top power play, which is why he has some value this week. Morgan Frost also has the off nights this week. He's been centering the second line in Calgary and has also been top power play, so that's not a bad add. Ryan McLeod, with the injury to Josh Norris, he's also playing on the top power play right now in Buffalo. If you're in a deep league, why not add him? Brendan Gallagher is playing on the third line right now with Kirby Dach and Zach Bolduc. With Bolduc playing so well, Gallagher's actually not been doing too bad himself, and if you're in a super deep league, you're adding somebody for the off nights, Gallagher's not a horrible add. And finally, Andre Palat of the New Jersey Devils. A lot of people keep asking me to dig deeper and find guys who are like 0% owned. Well, here's one, guys. Andre Palat is playing on the top line with Jack Hughes. And on a week where the Devils do have some off nights, this is not a horrible add. Jumping into defensemen, guys, and Matthew Schaefer is the first one on this list. And he's officially taken over Power Play 1 in New York. And he's looking really freaking good. Now, in my trending down / drops video in week 1, I had mentioned that D'Angelo was kind of scary because Matthew Schaefer made the team. I just want to read you guys a comment that I got that was not very nice in week 1. I love you, but that take on a rookie taking over Power Play 1 over D'Angelo, a noted power play specialist, his whole career, is a terrible take. Well, 2 weeks later, and Matthew Schaefer is the Power Play 1 guy. So clearly I was right to be a little bit worried that the first overall pick made the team. And he's looking really freaking good, so D'Angelo may not get that spot back anytime soon. So guys, my takes are definitely not always going to be right, but there's definitely always some truth to them, and there's reasoning behind them. And that's why I was a little bit scared of Tony DeAngelo this year with Matthew Schaefer making the team. That being said, though, Schaefer looks awesome, and if he's still available in your league, you need to scoop him up now. Sam Rinzel, of the Chicago Blackhawks is the top power play guy over there, and he definitely should be owned in more leagues. Radko Gudas is someone who I want to give a shout out to. He's a dude who always puts up lots of hits and blocks, gives you a safe floor night in and out. I don't dislike him this year for fantasy. Alexander Romanov is another guy who I think is great for fantasy, puts up a very, very safe floor with shots, hits, blocks. It's not bad every single night. Caden Goalies is another safe floor guy, and he's been putting up some solid peripherals this year and has also been putting up points playing on the pairing with Lane Hudson. That ain't bad. Jeremy Lauzon, somebody who I featured last week, and he's hitting quite a bit once again, and I love to see it. If your league counts hits for quite a bit, Lauzon is worth an ad. John Klingberg is the top power play guy in San Jose. Yes, I would have him on my team over Tony DeAngelo at this point. I've gotten a lot of questions about that. I was leaning DeAngelo because he's a better power play one guy, a little bit more proven over the past few years, but Klingberg now is the top power play guy and DeAngelo isn't. So easy as that, Klingberg over DeAngelo right now. Adam Larson is a good safe floor defenseman, gets you plenty of hits and blocks, even some shots on goal, and should get you a point every 3 games or so. Is pretty safe with him. Olin Zellweger is the second power play guy in Anaheim, but they're rotating both power plays, and both power plays feature some very, very good players. I don't mind him. And for those people that keep asking me to include really deep league options, somebody who's 0% rostered, it was actually really hard to find a defenseman who was 0% rostered and was actually somewhat even remotely viable. Well, Mario Ferraro is a top pairing guy in San Jose, and historically has always gotten quite a bit of hits and blocks, so that is an option if you are in an ultra deep league. Now, jumping into goalies, Jet Greaves and Elvis Merzlikins are splitting the crease right now in Columbus. Both are playing pretty well to start, so there's no clear starter. They're probably going to split until one emerges. Spencer Knight of the Chicago Blackhawks is the clear starter in Chicago. It looked initially like they might split the crease, but Knight did just start 2 games in a row, and he's been really, really good, whereas Soderblom isn't really that good. Yaroslav Askarov of the San Jose Sharks is also splitting the crease in San Jose. Had a miserable first game, so until he does better, he's not going to be the full-time starter. At best, he's going to split starts. Seelovs and Jari are the 2 goalies in Pittsburgh, and they should split starts fairly evenly. Calvin Pickard of the Edmonton Oilers is somebody who I didn't have here last week, but it looks like Skinner, they don't really trust him too much, and Pickard may end up playing every second game this year. It may be a 50-50 split if Pickard can play half decent. Cam Talbot has looked really good in the last couple games. He's had Toronto's number, and he beat them twice in a row. The fact that he started 2 games in a row, not good news for John Gibson, but Gibson could potentially get the next start, and it could still be a 50-50 split, but for now, I prefer Cam Talbot. Charlie Lindgren just came off a shutout of the New York Rangers, and it looked like Washington maybe didn't want to split their goalies 50-50 like they did last year, but after that Lindgren performance, it's going to be a little bit harder not to split their goalies like last year. Then we got Darth Vladar and Sam Urson of the Philadelphia Flyers. I love calling Dan Vladar that, but he's been really good to start the year. 2 very good performances by him, and Sam Urson wasn't horrible in his start, so it should still be a rotation for now. But if Vladar keeps playing like that, it's his crease to lose. Alex Lyon has started all 3 games for Buffalo so far. So, hey, until Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, or 6K as I like to call him, comes back, it's Lyon's crease. And then Alex Nedeljkovic of the San Jose Sharks. With Askarov playing so poorly, Nedeljkovic is getting every second start in San Jose, and he hasn't been too bad up to this point. So if you're in an ultra deep league and you're looking for somebody, Nedeljkovic is viable right now. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll catch you all in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.